Our solar system is made up of heavenly bodies like sun, planets, moon and stars. They are called celestial bodies. The sun itself is a star and there are 8 planets including the Earth which revolve around the sun in different orbits. Let us study about the moon. The moon is the heavenly body nearest to the Earth. It revolves around the Earth. It is a natural satellite of the Earth. The average distance between the moon and the Earth is 3,84,400 kilometers. The moon rises at a different time every day. For example, if one day it rises at 8 p.m., the following day it will rise at about 8:50 p.m., that is, about 50 minutes later than the previous day. The moon revolves around the Earth. It also rotates around itself at the same time. The moon takes 27.3 days to complete one revolution around the Earth and takes the same time to complete one rotation around itself. Thus we see only one side of the moon from the Earth. Children, you must have observed that the moon in the sky, unlike the sun, is not of the same shape always. On full moon day, it appears to be round. After that, it appears smaller and smaller. At last, on new moon day, we don't see the moon in the sky. From new moon day, the moon gradually appears bigger and bigger every day. These different sizes and shapes of the moon are called the phases of the moon. Now, let us learn about the term constellations. Children, we see many stars and groups of stars in the sky. These groups of stars are known as constellations. Sometimes they appear in the form of an animal or human being or some object. On summer nights, we can see a particular configuration of 7 stars called the Great Bear or Saptarishi. The constellation called Orion, the hunter, shines very brightly in the sky. It can be easily seen on winter nights. The 3 stars in the middle are said to be Orion's belt, and the fainter stars below it are his dagger. If the line of the stars from the belt is stretched eastwards, it leads us to the star Sirius. Students, let me tell you something about the constellation named Scorpius. From among the 10 to 12 stars that we see in the constellation Scorpius, the Antares is the brightest. The Scorpius can be seen in the southern sky just below the equator. Look at the picture carefully. It resembles a scorpion, so it is called a Scorpius. Now, let us see some interesting things about a constellation in general. A constellation may have more than just 5 to 10 stars. Some of them are not even visible to us. These stars may not be at the same fixed distance from the Earth. They only appear to be joined together to form a group.
Do you know how many constellations could there be in the sky? It is not possible to count so many constellations randomly. So, we have divided the sky into 88 parts for convenience. Each of these parts is known as a constellation. This means there are 88 constellations in the sky. Of these, 37 belong to the northern sky and 51 belong to the southern sky.
Our ancient Indian astronomers had imagined 27 constellations which they called nakshatras. Let us understand our solar system. The Sun, the 8 planets that revolve around it, the satellites, asteroids and comets all together form our solar system. Let us study each of the above in detail. The Sun. It is the center of the universe and the most important star. The Sun is a medium-sized star having a temperature of about 6,000 degrees Celsius. Its size is so big that it can hold 13 lakh Earths like ours within itself. All objects around the Sun revolve around it because of its gravitational force. Now, let us learn some important things about the planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune are the 8 planets that revolve around the Sun, each in a different orbit. Up to the year 2006, Pluto was considered to be the 9th and the farthest planet of the solar system. However, the revolution of Pluto does not meet the criteria used by the International Astronomical Society to define a planet's revolutionary orbit. Hence, Pluto is not considered to be a planet anymore. Now, let us look at the few properties of a planet. Every planet has a different period of revolution. The greater the distance of a planet from the Sun, the greater is its period of revolution. The period of revolution of Mercury is just 88 days, while that of Neptune is as long as 165 years. The planets rotate around themselves even as they revolve around the Sun. The time a planet takes to complete one rotation around itself is called its period of rotation. Some heavenly bodies are seen to revolve around some of the planets. They are called the planet's satellites or moons. Example, Earth has 1 moon, Mars has 2 moons, and Saturn has more than 60 moons. Now, let us study about all the 8 planets in detail. Mercury. It is the smallest planet of our solar system and the nearest to the Sun. That is why we cannot see it easily. However, it can be seen at sunrise or sunset on the horizon. Mercury does not have a moon. Venus. It is the planet nearest to the Earth. It is also called the morning star or evening star as it looks very bright early in the morning and in the evening. It does not have any moon but has phases like moon. A peculiarity of Venus is that it rotates from east to west around itself, unlike other planets which rotate from west to east. Now, let us talk about our planet Earth. Factors necessary for life such as light, temperature, water, air, atmosphere, protection of the ozone layer, etc. are found only on Earth. So, of all the planets, only Earth has a living world. The axis around which Earth rotates is not perpendicular to its orbit but slightly inclined. This is why Earth has seasons like summer and winter. Mass. It is the first superior planet. Planets which have their orbits outside Earth's orbit are called superior planets. Those planets which have their orbits inside Earth's orbit are called inferior planets. Example, Mercury and Venus. The soil on Mars is rich in iron, which makes the planet appear red. That is why it is also called the red planet. Mars has 2 moons. Jupiter. It is the largest planet in the solar system. It is big enough to hold 1,397 Earths within itself, but its mass is only 318 times that of Earth. In spite of its size, Jupiter rotates very fast, completing one turn around itself in just 10 hours. Jupiter has 63 satellites, but we can see only 4 of them by a telescope. Saturn. It has some unique characteristics. It has rings around it which cannot be seen by the unaided eye. Another of Saturn's special feature is its density is so less than that of water that if there were a large enough ocean of water, this huge planet would float on it. Uranus and Neptune. The last 2 planets, Uranus and Neptune, are the outermost planets of the solar system. Hence, we cannot see them without telescope. Like Venus, Uranus too rotates from the east to west. Its axis of rotation is inclined at a very large angle. Hence, it appears to roll along like a ball as it revolves around the sun. With this, we are done with the planets. Now, let us know about the other different components of our solar system. Asteroids. There is a great distance between the 2 planets, Mars and Jupiter. We can see small remnants of heavenly bodies revolving in this gap. They are called asteroids. Asteroids are so small that they can only be seen through a telescope. Here comes the comet. A comet is a celestial body which revolves around the sun in elliptical orbits, but they have very long periods of revolution. A comet consists of a brilliant sphere called its head and a long tail. The tail is always on the side opposite to the sun. As it moves nearer to the earth, the tail gets longer. Halley's Comet is seen once in 76 years. It is expected to be seen next in the year 2060. Now, let us study about one more celestial body called meteor. When some celestial body comes near the earth pulls the body towards itself. That body falls at great speed through the Earth's atmosphere, and this causes friction with the constituents of the atmosphere. As a result, the temperature rises and it begins to glow. This is called a meteor. A meteor traces a bright line in the sky while falling, which is referred to as a falling star. Now coming to the artificial satellites. We have come across the word satellites many times in this chapter. Let us learn about them in detail. India has put several satellites into orbits around the earth for the benefit and progress of mankind. These are artificial or man-made satellites. They orbit the earth at distances less than the distance of the moon from the earth. India's first satellite, Aryabhat, was put into orbit on 19th of April 1975. After that, other satellites like INSAT, IRS, Kalpana-1, EduSat, Bhaskar, etc. have also been launched. India has taken big strides in space science. Recently, we have simultaneously put 10 satellites into orbits around the Earth. To date, ISRO has launched total 21 satellites, of which 11 are still functioning. They transmit information to us about various places on the Earth's surface. For example, we can receive live coverage of a cricket match taking place in any part of the world on the TV in our house. Artificial satellites are used for making contact with things in space and for communication. Weather forecasting, telecommunications and broadcasting programs on radio and television, space research, implementing educational programs, something very unique, the radio telescope. It is called the Giant Meter Wave Radio Telescope. It is set up by the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, TIFR, close to the Pune-Nasik highway at Khodat near Narayangaon. There is only one such telescope in the world, and so scientists from different parts of the world come here to study the solar system, pulsars and supernovas, etc. Let us look at the life in space. You must be wondering that what and how the astronauts eat when traveling in space for a long period of time. They have both solid and liquid foods like us. They have their food directly from closed packets so that it does not fly into the air. This food provides them with all the food constituents and vitamins they need.